In Connecticut that could have national implications. U.S. Attorney from Connecticut, John C. Durham, has just announced that he is resigning. Durham was appointed to interim U.S. Attorney by President Donald Trump in 2017. His post made permanent in 2018. Durham served in the District of Connecticut for 25 years, prosecuting complex organized crime, violent crime, public corruption, and financial fraud. Most notably, Durham was in charge of investigating the origins of the Russia investigation, specifically the conduct of FBI agents who worked on the probe looking into President Trump's team and Russia during the 2016 campaign. It's unclear who will be in charge of the investigation now. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Leonard Boyle will serve as acting U.S. Attorney.